everybody, so today I want to teach you how to get a out of a magazine model look, and this basically focuses on foundation because everyone's lips and eyes are different. I'm going to leave that up to you, but I had a lovely request. She wants to know how to look magazine ready in real life, and makeup when you're taking photos looks different on photo. So this is not going to be photo shoot makeup, but this is going to be look like you just walked out of a photo shoot makeup. Or like you just walked out of a magazine. So if you guys are wondering how to get the look, stay tuned and I'll show you how. So the first thing I started out with is the Cover FX primer, and it's kind of a more oily primer, but it really helps to clear acne, which is why I use it. So use a primer, and in the case that you are very red or very irritated in your skin, you're going to want to use a green primer. So I'm fine like this, so this is how I'm going to continue. But next we're going to start applying our foundation. Now if you want super full coverage, use your fingers. I have noticed that fingers give the fullest coverage. I am going for a flawless medium to heavy coverage, so not super heavy. But I'm going to be using that with this kind of stippling brush because I can really buff it in. And make sure you exfoliate before doing this, because if you buff with this brush, it's a form of micro exfoliation and your flakes will show up. So make sure you exfoliate if you're going to use a brush like this. I'm going to be using Makeup Forever. The reason why is because it covers great, and the reason that I'm using this and not Immaculate foundation is because this gives a little bit more of a dewy glow. The Immaculate foundation is completely matte, and if I'm actually going to a photo shoot, that is what I'm going to want to use. But in real life, we want a little bit of dewiness and a little bit of texture so that we look model-esque. Because if you ever noticed in a magazine the model's skin is like dewy and glowing, at a photo shoot, I'm going to want to use that, and every day I like to use the Immaculate too, just because it's more comfortable on my skin, but I am going to be using this just because I want it to have that dewy, glowy texture. And this look is about replicating what we see in a magazine, so that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to put a little bit directly onto the brush. You could put it onto your hand and then take it up with the brush, but I don't like to do that because then it gets all over my hand. So I'm just going to apply it directly to the brush, take my hair back, begin to apply. I'm applying the problem areas first, and then I am going to blend and buff it in. And as you guys can see, this gives a very nice skin tony texture already. Next I'm going to use the powder, and I'm using a dome-shaped brush because this gives us a really light application. And in addition, the powder that I'm using is not going to be colored. It is going to be the Makeup Forever HD High Definition Powder. And I really like this because it will help to kind of mattify this, but it will not offset what we've applied, just make it look more flawless. So this is a really thin powder. It goes everywhere when you touch it, so be very careful with setting powders like this. You just want to pat it on, and then later we'll swirl and buff it in. So now that we've made this matte, we're going to set it and give it a little bit more of that dew. It's going to stay because of the foundation. This is Oil Slick D-Slick for oil control. Use whatever setting spray you like or whatever you had on hand. Next, it's time to contour and highlight. I'm using a Hoola bronzer just because it's a mattifying bronzer. Use whatever bronzer you have, but make sure that it's not shimmery, because a lot of bronzers tend to be shimmery, and I've hit the pan. But I'm going to take it on my contour brush, and I'm going to apply it to my contour. Now, depending on your face shape, you're going to need to contour differently. So I am going to contour as according to my face shape, but I have a couple other videos for round shaped faces and things like that. So depending on your face shape, be sure to contour that way. I'm also going to take just a small amount on a fluffy brush, which is actually an eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to work down the contour sides of my nose. This is just going to make it look a lot more chiseled. Next is highlighter, and you could use a shimmer, but just use any matte foundation powder that is like 10 shades too light for you, more like 3 shades too light for you. So I'm going to take it a little bit on a very bunted brush, and I'm going to apply this down the bridge of my nose. This kind of fakes a nose job, because I don't believe people should get nose jobs unless you've had like a, you know, a war or something, or you've had your face mutilated because of a disaster or something. But this is a way to make it look straighter. Just in case you have something that's a little bit off. So I like to do this. And then I also like to go on top of my cheekbones right here. This really adds a nice highlight, and you can even apply a little bit under your eyes. Next we'll add just a touch of blush, and I'm using this one, and it's a little bit glittery just because our face is matte. It's this one. But because our face is matte, I'm going to add this, and it's just a perfect color. So I'm going to take it on a blush brush, smile, and just sweep it up these cheeks really, really lightly. Now that we have all these crazy colors on our face, we're going to blend them in. And I'm going to start just a little bit here at the bottom and a little bit here on the nose where it's darkest. And then I'm just going to kind of go up. And be very, very careful. Don't go too harsh because you're going to want some colors blended out more than others, but just do what's right and blend these all in. Now it's time for eyes, eyebrows, and lips, and everyone's face is different, so I'm not going to give you guys exact tips on how to do these. For your eyes, you should do a color that complements your eyes and makes them pop. If you're blue, go for like a yellow, maybe a green. If you're green, you could go for a yellow, maybe an orange. If you have brown eyes, go for a purple or a green. If you're hazel, go for a green or a blue. Just work with what's right for your colors, and also do fake lashes. Even if they're very, very small, fake lashes are really, really just making this look amazing. As far as eyebrows, just make sure they frame your face. And as far as lips, do whatever you want, only you should add a touch of gloss right in the very, very middle. Just to give it that glossy sheen that we really do see a lot of times in photos. So I'm going to go do that and be right back. And guys, that is all it takes to get a model ready out of a magazine look. So for the lovely who requested it, I hope this answered all your questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you learned something. And I look forward to talking to you all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.